I'm going to run through some static stretching and mobility drills today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some coaching stuff, some mindset stuff too, so some things that have helped me out sort of with goal setting and things like that. So let me know if you like the format of video. I don't know, I just got the urge to make this one today, so see if you like it, and if you don't, just let me know, because I want to make the sort of content that you guys want to watch. But the views have been going up recently, so something's right, but I don't know necessarily what that something is. So first, just lying on the back, gonna grab the back of one leg, and we're just drawing toe circles. And this is a nice one, opens up the ankle, but you'll also get some of the nerve in the back of the leg, the sciatic nerve. Get to relax your head as well. I'm just doing these in both directions. So yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about all or nothing thinking, black and white thinking when it comes to goals. Do both directions on your toes. Lovely. Then if you want to add a strength element in, you can just do a little hold, where you use your body strength to hold at the end. And that just helps reinforce that range of motion a little bit. So repeating the other side. So yeah, recently sort of in my online training group, there's been a lot of kind of, people will mess up, you know, they have a glass of wine one night and then they just think, oh, I can't do this, like I'm off plan. So there's this feeling, I suppose, of being out of control, and then they just think, well, I'm just gonna go with it. So, you know, they'll drink a couple of bottles of wine like a few nights in a row, loads of terrible food, and I want to talk about why that can actually be a positive thing. So it's not like all doom and gloom really. So we've done the circles, we're going to hold there. Get that static hold in, a couple of reps this way. It's going to build some strength in that position so it just sticks around a little bit more. That's kind of the only stretch I've got lying on the back really. Most of the other ones I like are sitting up. So I'm going to sit up for in this position. Soles of the feet together. And just going to flap the knees. Just nice to open up the hips first thing in the morning, get those moving a bit. So yeah, if you accidentally have a massive blowout, as happens to us sometimes, actually happened to me recently. I got into the second month of my plan, halfway through the second month of my plan, and I just had like a few really hard days where I just felt just low for no apparent reason, really tired. And so I drank loads of wine and loads of crisps, cookies, chocolate, just blew everything out the window. But that was a really positive thing, because I was like, well, that was a mistake, or I've done it. It wasn't even a mistake, it's a thing that happened at the time. Like, there's no point in beating yourself up about it, and it's a blip. Like, one mistake or one day of bad eating is not going to make you, or even a week of bad eating is not going to make you any fatter than a week of good eating is going to make you ripped. It's like, it's very much your choices compound over time. So, and it's a journey, like you just got to chalk that one up to experience and move on immediately. Don't be emotional. Well, we are emotional, aren't we? But don't be overly emotional and get stuck on that mistake and keep beating yourself up about it, because that just makes you repeat it. Just think, right, well, that's happened. You know, I've had a pack of cookies, it tasted nice. What's the positives that I can draw from this experience? And it's quite often that'll give you an emotional release that you need. Like, why is that blowout happening? Quite often it's for pent up emotional reasons. So it's a good time to reflect. It's like, are my stress levels building? Did I need to blow off steam? Sometimes you don't recognise that when the stress levels are building up, until you're in the middle of a food drink bender, and then you think, oh, perhaps I was a little bit stressed about something was getting to me. And that can be a good emotional reset and a chance to wake up the next day and think, no, let's move forwards from here and just try and be better, like from now on, just gently steer back onto the path. So yeah, hamstring stretch here, so just tuck in the leg into the hips, reach down, get your toe if you can. It's a bit early for this one. So in the afternoons, this is what's crazy about stretching in the morning. I can like nearly get my head to my knee, but in the morning it's like, it's not there. So there's a few reasons for that. I think it's because the discs get full of, your intervertebral discs get full of fluid during the night. When they're full of fluid, there's more contact with the nerves. So I think the nerve contact coming down from the discs, everything's just a bit stiffer because they're full of fluid. They're like, whoa man, we could easily push this material out if we strained ourselves too hard, so take it easy. And if I've ever hurt my back, it's been early in the day. It's never been in the afternoon or evening, so maybe there's something in that. So with stretches, you get something called the give point. So as you're holding them, they start to release off. So that one started to release off quite nicely now. You see how I can hold this range? So hold that range, maybe 10 seconds, squeeze into it. You can actually bounce a little bit if you want. Take it easy, but bouncing is no problem. It's been proven to be safe as long as you've got no pre-existing injuries. Switching sides there. What's really interesting as well is you stretch one side, the other side gets looser without actually doing anything. That's because of something called mirror neurons in the brain. So it's also, if you practice something on your bad side, you're going to get a lot better at it on your good side. And that's these mirror neurons in action. So yeah, so anyway, going back to these kind of unplanned binges or unplanned munches, just use that as a natural reset point, which kind of happens to us like every Monday, right? Or in normal life. People have their weekend blowout and then Monday they're like, oh my God, like, I've just undone all my goals, what am I doing? But then they quite often get refocused and hit it hard. But what we have to eventually look at is what's the triggers behind unplanned binges, like, or whatever it is. It might not even be food that you use, it might be acting out emotionally, like it might be shouting at people, like that used to be one of my coping mechanisms, like growing up and stuff, is I would just scream at my mum and like smash up my house. Sorry about that, mum. I was young and stupid then. Now I just destroy my own body with food and alcohol, so that's much more positive. But yeah, it's looking at these long-term reasons, like why is the stress raising to that level where you feel like you need to do something like that? Now at the moment with this isolation thing going on, so just a static hold here, we can do a few bounces. Yeah, at the moment with this isolation thing, it is a bit of a pressure cooker environment, like you're either stuck on your own or you're stuck with the same people that you probably love, to be fair, unless they're your housemates. But things just get hard, like little things that wouldn't get to you do get to you. And my friend uses the analogy of like a steam kettle. He says like every time you do something relaxing, it blows a little bit of steam off, right? And we've all heard the expression blow off steam. See if you can get a double toe reach here. This is a bit early to get this one for me, but we'll hold it until we get that give point. So yeah, he says every time you do, you have a nice walk, or you meditate, or you train if you enjoy training. If you hate training, it can be one of the things that adds to your stress, but if you love it, it can, there we go, a little bit lower. It can be one of these things that lets off steam. Now he's saying if you're letting off this steam gradually throughout your week, then less of it is built up towards the end of the week, right? Or, you know, whatever the time period may be. So doing these little things like meditation, it's a little, just lets off a little bit of stress. A little run, like in the park, if you like that sort of thing, lets off a little bit of stress. A little train, lets off a little bit of stress. Even like a song, listening through one song from start to finish. We're just going to do a little active hold here, so just lifting both legs up, a little 10-second hold. It's just to make that range of motion stick a little bit more. You see that? Got that extra range there? Now that, if I carry on, just gets more and more and more. And you can hold those stretches for quite a while. So yeah, sorry if I'm losing you a little bit. But even just listening through a song from start to finish can give you that little 5 minutes chill time that you need. And it is important to take me time, because many of us, we don't take enough me time, and then we can't actually be fully present and contribute to the situation with our loved ones, like we just are too tired or like too stressed. So I think it's important to take that time before you get to that stage, blow your steam off, because the more you let that steam build up, it's going to get to a point where you can't control it. I think we're all human, like we're all emotional kind of beings, so at some stage that is going to happen. It's better to take little controlled bursts when you can than sort of leaving it in the hands of the gods, so to speak, and then just blowing up, you know, drinking a litre of whiskey and going out driving in your car and getting in fights with the police, you know, to take it to an extreme. So yeah, it's just stress management really, just basic stress management. Take those little steps before you need to. It's something I really need to get better at still, but I have got a lot better at over the years. And it reflects everywhere. It reflects in your body, reflects in your finances, reflects in your health, in your relationships. So it is it's something that should be taught in school really. It's like your emotions, if they get the better of you, they can ruin your life, and they have ruined many people's lives, just not being able to control their temper, right? So if you're taught these things at an early age, but it just doesn't happen in our society for some reason. It's like emotions aren't talked about. They're probably like the main cause of most of our issues. But in terms of coping strategies, we're not really ever taught anything. So this is 90-90 position. You can see that little, it's getting quite bouncy there now, quite easy. If you can't get into this position, just prop your hips up, that's fine. Gonna go across to the other side. Just leaning forwards over this front leg. Now something that really chills me out is like a little static stretch like this in the morning. Now if you want to get super hippified, you could say that physical tension or mental tension is held in the body, so stretching will relieve that mental emotional tension. Now I don't know about that, it's a bit sort of ultra spiritual for me, but some people believe that. And if you look at yoga, it's people who teach yoga, like they seem quite relaxed. Some of them don't, some of them are crazy, but then that makes you think, well maybe that's why, because they finally like get that relief from doing yoga. So yeah, a little morning static stretch for me like really relieves stress and is a nice way to just sort of connect with your body and see what's going on. So this side is quite nice and loose. Like there, my head's not a million miles away from my foot, and if you static stretching, like it does work and it's easy, like it's not taking anything out of me, but it's going to improve my agility, improve my ability, improve my ability to be explosive. So it's a really good thing to do, but it gets sort of a bad rap because, well, it's easy really, and we always want to push, we always want to sweat, and everything has to be really hard. So I'm just going to stretch the front of the hips off now. We're getting there, guys, so just bear with me. So stretching forwards from here, just feeling that stretch through there, and just get that upper body tilted up. There's a nice open angle here. So with stretching, there's something called a give point. Now you're probably going to see my give point happen on this stretch. So I hold it for a little while, and like suddenly I can just go deeper. Now that's just the first give point. You might get 10 of those in a stretching session. So if you really pay attention with your static stretching and use your breathing, you can get pretty damn flexible. Yeah, so lions, right? Lions, they sleep for 20 hours a day. They're only awake for 4 hours. And most of that 4 hours they spend stretching. And then they just explode, kill the hell out of something. So here's that give point coming again. So that point where you can relax into the stretch. Yeah, lions, what was I talking about? Beasts, sleep for 20 hours a day, awake for 4, most of that time they're static stretching, and then they explode. I wonder if there's anything in that in terms of injury prevention and being ready to go. Because a few years ago, I remember seeing this bus that I needed to catch to get to college, and I broke into an all-out sprint from nothing to get this bus. So just leaning back from here, just double quad stretch. This is quite a nice one, and we're nearly there on the lower body now. So breaking into an all-out stretch to catch this bus, I pinged my hamstring because I just wasn't warm, because I hadn't done any mobility or anything that morning. and I went into an all-out sprint, and there I was injured by the side of the road. So I hobbled there, was late, got shouted at, and if I'd adopted the Lions mentality, sleeping for a bit longer, spending some time static stretching, maybe that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, but it's a nice way to start the day, little static stretch, and then afterwards, you know, pint of water, and you're ahead of the game. Like most people, they're just not going to do that. I mean, I've only just adopted these sort of practices in recent years, but I used to be the sort of person who'd set their alarm for like 5 minutes before they leave the house, wake up, glug a giant coffee, run out the door, like angry, thinking that everything in the world is everyone else's fault, right? So I'll be super angry with everyone, shouting at them while I'm driving my car to work. I don't do that anymore. I sort of wake up, have a chilled morning, relaxed coffee, do some breathing exercises, a little static stretch. It's just a much, much different start to your day. Saying that, my wife's looking after our little one right now. She's in the shower with him, so that gives me that opportunity. Don't get this every day, so some of those days I'm still grabbing an espresso and stressing out. So you see the give point on this is getting more and more relaxed as well, to the point where I can drop to my elbows. Well, I can't quite drop to my elbows yet, but yeah, another few minutes, another few seconds, and that one would drop down. There we go, there's another give point there. You see how it's going a little bit lower? Just lovely stretch for the quads there, just opens up the hips and everything in the morning. Or at any time of day really, it doesn't have to be the morning. So there we go, out of that. I quite like to do backward bends and then forward bends. I've just got that from yoga, which yoga is a fad. That's going to pass pretty soon. It's only been around for 5,000 years, so it's only a matter of time until that stops. So let's do a little child's pose here. So hands out. This position's nicer on the shoulder than this one. I used to have a shoulder injury and I couldn't do that hands down position. This one's a little bit easier. So we drop down, let the shoulders open out. You can rock back and forth a little bit. You'll see the give point on this one as well. So that's my initial flexibility, and there we go. Now I can drop down a bit further. So last one for today. It's mostly lower body focused today, but you can start with the upper body. And if you like these follow alongs, guys, I'll do another one. So I'll put some soft piano music on in the background too. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades back from here, just getting that nice and open. See, that give point came really quick, and that's as you get more through a stretch session. If you did like a 60 to 90 second stretch, things really start to open up. So we've got increased range of motion now. So anything we go into during our day, we're going to be more explosive and ready to go, calm, relaxed and focused. Now, for extra bonus points, can you do 10 deep, slow breaths in and out through the nose? It's going to chill you out a bit at the end of your stretch session. If that's really rambly today, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to kill two birds with one stone. So get some usable content out in the form of static stretching, but just go through some mindset stuff and just get my thoughts out that maybe might help some of you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think, and thanks ever so much for watching. I'm sure this is a long one, so thank you for spending that time with me. See you soon.